Detective Comics 1105, Tom Taylor writing with MIKEL JANÍN on the art. So we get a little bit more backstory on the Lion here, which is basically that he was the kid of just a low-level thug that worked for Falcone. We get like a flashback early on, and Batman's narrating saying, you know what, he did make mistakes back in the day, he did, not do everything perfectly, and this kid was left behind after his dad had been taken by Batman. And we get a little bit of Babs in present day explaining some of this backstory as well, which is that after the fact, Bruce Wayne made sure this kid, was taken care of, and he was in a foster home or whatever, but he made sure he had like all the options available to him. Bruce Wayne even visited him when he was a teenager and gave him a prize that came with a scholarship and all that. And it's like, oh, this is interesting. Like, this kid grew up hating Batman for taking away his dad, but Bruce Wayne's the guy that he adores because Bruce Wayne gave him all the opportunities in life. So
I do love that. That is a weird, like, you don't see that with like Superman, right? Because Clark Kent's just a reporter, so you don't get the person that's like, oh, I really love Clark Kent stories, but Superman, yeah, he's bad.
Yeah, it's also hard, I think, there's maybe some very specific examples where someone might end up hating Superman. I mean, Lex is Superman, but even like a normal person, like let's say, I don't know, Superman has to make a choice to like catch a plane or save people that are in a burning building but can't do both. That anyone who loses someone in the option he doesn't pick might end up hating him forever. But I feel like Batman, though, you can get why a lot of people won't like Batman.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I just love that he hates Batman but loves Bruce Wayne because Bruce Wayne helped create the Lion. Yeah, it's almost Bruce's altruism has come back to bite him.
So yeah, like Batman in his big, biohazard bat suit, his quarantine suit, is investigating stuff, whereas Babs has to go off and deal with a riot outside the police station. To what she's dealing with. I think one of the things that I really liked about this issue is that Batman, between like his conversation with Babs and then later on when he's talking to all the other heroes that have like kind of assembled to try and get a cure developed, he basically just openly multiple times says, look, I can't trust my judgment. Is this plan I've got dangerous? Should I not do this plan? Is this a terrible idea? And like, begrudgingly, like whoever he's talking to has to be like, well, I don't think you'd even thought of this if you still had all your usual concerns and like, judgments, but it might be the only choice or it might be whatever. So I like this idea that he's very aware. I also like the idea that eventually when Damien's potentially in trouble and the Lion's teasing him about it, he's like, obviously you're still asking about him because you should, but like, you're not like emotional about it. You're not tearing up. You're not like, your voice isn't breaking because you're worried about Robin being dead. You're just kind of not like, and it's like, oh, that's the whole thing. Anyway, so we get more of the flashbacks. One of the things we get to is that he trained because he was so scared of going outside because of everything that happened with his dad. He eventually went to Wildcat's gym, and obviously Black Canary was there as well, and Batman goes to talk to her about this kid, and turns out he never really fought anyone for a long time. He just practiced on punch bags and whatnot, but eventually because someone was bullying someone in the ring, he stood up for him and became a really good fighter and did really well, until one day he got beat sort of quite badly that he got scared again, and then Batman's like, oh, who beat him? And then you just see in the next page it's actually Dinah. Dinah was the one who knocked him out. Which I just thought was really funny.
So he goes to see Ted. Ted trains him up, but he never wants to get into the ring. But there was a guy that was called the Beast, and he looks like a white version of Mike Tyson. There's this big hulking boxer whose nickname is the Beast, and that's how the Lion got his name, is because when he knocked out the Beast, he became the king of the Beast. And after that, he didn't look back after that until fighting Canary. And then Canary dropped him, gave him his fear back, and he ran off to become the Lion. So I did like that. I do love that tie. That he was too afraid to get into the ring. Turns out he's good. And then the one time he gets beat,
And it's possible
runs
the only
off.
reason why he's so competent now and like suave is because he's taken his own thing and he's got no fear. Like he's literally just given himself like anti-fear like toxin. So yeah, I mean, Batman talks to Terrific, who's assembled a team, which is a very weird team here. I mean, some of them make sense because they're scientists, but Lana Lang's there for like.
Oh yeah, because she's
how many
she's married
times
to Steel.
I get that, but like, how many times in the history of DC or Detective Comics has Lana Lang appeared in Detective Comics? I can't imagine it's a big number.
No, but don't forget, she also is an electrical engineer. That was a thing that came up since Rebirth. You know, so she is a scientist in her own right. You know, that's why her and John Henry hit it off.
Yeah, but Steele's not there. I mean, Natasha Steele's
No.
there, but John Henry's not there.
Yes.
But anyway,
This entire sequence, this gave me, like, this is why Tom Taylor's one of my favorite writers, because he can take a moment and make comedy with it, to where Bruce tells Terrific his plan, right? And you turn the page, and it's just Dr. Midnight going, I don't like it, right? We don't know what the plan is. And then Scarecrow goes, oh, I like it. And I think it's Ray Palmer. So he's, oh, great. The bleeping Scarecrow approves. So again, this makes me go, what is Bruce's plan?
yeah, I do like the idea because like Jonathan Crane being a part of the team, which obviously makes sense from his like scientific expertise, but obviously he's Scarecrow, so there's maybe some other concerns at play. But you know, like I'm like, wait, is Batman planning on like because at one point he says, hey, do you have amounts of this to pull this off? And Scarecrow seems quite surprised by that or interested by that. And I was like, wait, is this like Scarecrow fear toxin? Is he going to like try and counteract it with a bunch of fear toxin or something? And Scarecrow's like, wait, why do you have so much of my stuff? Like, well, you've stockpiled this all bats. But yeah, so yes. Anyway, so Batman wants to test this potential antidote on himself, or test the fear toxin on himself, whatever it is, because he doesn't want to risk it on anyone else. And that's when, you know, there's people attacking Wayne Manor and the Lion's there as well. Now, the people attacking Wayne Manor had nothing to do with the Lion. They were just random thugs who were doing that. Because the big reveal here is that the storm that came in on this very same night that Batman found that ship with a kid on it, that storm was actually generated with multiple ships. The anti-fear toxin, whatever you want to call it, has already been in Gotham for days, and the reason why there's a riot in front of the police station, the reason why there's thugs throwing Molotovs at Wayne Manor, is because they've all been progressing this at the same rate Batman has, but they're not all in hazmat suits, so they're all just going to town and they're starting to go crazy. Yep.
It's like a frenzy, and he points out that it was because he goes, he should have known by Robin, because Robin ran into the burning field, right, in the last issue, and Bruce pulled him back. He goes, that should have been your tell.
Yeah,
you know,
it also means
busy.
Babs and everyone else should be infected. Everyone in Gotham.
So in theory, Bruce doesn't need to wear that suit anymore, right? Because everybody's got it.
That's true. Yeah.
So we're gonna lose the really cool suit. That's a bummer. In theory. So, but yeah, that build up, that's typical. You know, a couple weeks ago we were talking about the Ozymandias. You know, what do you mean? Am I going to succeed? I already did 20 minutes ago. That's what this felt like.
It was, yeah. The attack already happened 4 days ago, so I've already won.
You know.
Yeah, and the last page is that riot outside the police station, and Babs is down for the count. So, yeah, times are rough, but Batman might have a solution that's forming here, which I don't think the Lion knows. The Lion won't know that he's maybe got a plan to counteract it, but that's the big thing.
He's gonna hit this dude with so much fear toxin, he's gonna piss his pants. Like that's where this has to go. Like he's gonna put the fear in the words of Colin Farrell and Daredevil, you gotta put the fear in him.
Yeah, and worth mentioning, Damien, you know, he goes into like a burning building and an explosion fires him back, or it's a trap actually, and he gets fired back.
Yeah.
So he's probably down for the count. Babs is down for the count, and Batman's in a grumpy mood. Well, he will be once maybe he feels things again. I guess you could be angry without fear. He can still get angry, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that's every Hulk story, right? Angry without fear. You
That's true. Yeah, but how many times in the real world is anger caused by some level of fear? Probably a lot of it, I have to imagine.
Well, when you have anxiety like I do, then you realize that's the root cause of your anger. You know, it is, but for regular people, probably not.
But yeah, that's it was a good issue actually. I thought this ramped up really well. I liked the backstory segments, sprinkling in with, you know, the both the flashbacks and the stuff where he goes to talk to Dinah, Babs being involved, and then the actual kind of build up to the ending, where like, oh, this is already going down. It felt like the penultimate issue of the arc. And felt exciting and really well put together. Janin's art is obviously very consistent throughout. It's all very pleasant.
I feel like he's really upped the coloring game. I think he's doing the colors right. He just credited his art. Let's see. I just go back through my issue. Yeah, it says pencil. So the coloring is. Oh, it just says pencils, inks. I don't see a color on here. So if it's Janin doing his own colors, he's really taking a leap here because he's doing a lot of reds, oranges, yellows, really leaning into that side of things over this arc, which is really cool to see, especially this issue, because we get a lot of the fire and the craziness that's happening. But then that's also balanced with a lot of the cooler, the greens, blues, and all of that in like the science lab and all that. So yeah, no, it's really good, man. It's such a competent Batman story.
Yeah, no, I'm having a fun time with it. It's kind of it's very well paced, for one, and it's shaking things up a little bit because I like this idea of Batman knowing that his judgment's compromised, so he's actually asking for second opinions on just about everything he's doing, which is neat for the moment. So, all right, what are you giving Detective Comics?
I'm gonna give this a straight 8.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think it's just a great book, no more, no less.